GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good night, Montreal.
Newly renovated basketball courts opened this evening in Martin Luther King Park, bringing fresh paint and resurfaced hoops to the Côte des Neiges neighborhood. The project, led by the Canadian nonprofit Buckets and Borders, transformed the park's outdoor courts after months of work and sponsor contributions. Officials said the upgraded facilities aim to spark community interaction and give residents a place to build confidence through the game. The organization, which specializes in constructing and restoring public basketball sites across the country, chose the park for its central location and active local youth scene. City representatives praised the partnership, noting that the courts will host informal pickup games and future neighborhood tournaments. As the sun set, the first players took to the new surfaces, marking another step in the city's effort to enrich public spaces through sport.
The Festival Ludique de Montreal has turned the Quartier Latin into a bustling playground for tabletop fans. Over 3 days, the open-air board game exhibition invites families, students, and curious passers-by to sample the latest releases from Quebec's growing industry. Tables line the streets, and volunteers guide players through strategy-heavy war games, cooperative adventures, and quick-play party titles. Attendance has swelled since the festival launched, reflecting a surge in public enthusiasm for board games across the province. Organizers say the outdoor setting encourages spontaneous discovery, letting anyone stop by after class or work. Local cafes report higher foot traffic, while nearby boutiques display limited-edition game merchandise. As the sun sets, lanterns illuminate the gaming zones, and the festival shows no sign of slowing before the final day wraps up later this weekend.
Fuel prices in the Greater Montreal region have risen to nearly $2 per liter, a level not seen in recent months. The increase coincides with the construction holiday period, when many roadwork projects pause, prompting drivers to travel farther for lower-cost stations. Retailers across the island report that the price spike is persisting, with some pumps hovering just under the $2 mark. The provincial energy regulator has not yet issued a formal explanation, but analysts point to global crude trends and seasonal demand as contributing factors. Commuters in the Plateau, Mile End, and West Island are reporting longer queues at stations, while commercial fleets are reassessing route schedules to mitigate expenses. The situation remains fluid, and authorities continue to monitor market fluctuations throughout the week. Consumers are advised to compare prices and consider carpooling where possible.
Tomorrow night, the Hamilton Tiger Cats travel to Percival Molson Stadium for a CFL regular season showdown with the Montreal Alouettes. Quarterback Tree Ford will lead the Tiger Cats as they seek revenge after the two clubs opened the 2026 campaign against each other roughly 2 months ago. The Alouettes, fresh from a home crowd in the opening tilt, will look to defend their turf and keep the early season momentum alive. Both teams are coming off a week of practice and film review, and coaches say the game could swing on a few key turnovers and special teams plays. Fans can expect a lively atmosphere in the historic stadium, with the rivalry adding extra excitement to a Sunday night that promises high-octane football for anyone tuning in. Tickets are selling fast, and local supporters are already lining up for the game.
5 officers from the Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal have been suspended without pay for terms ranging from 30 to 42 days, after a Quebec court found them guilty of serious misconduct during a 2018 pursuit that left a woman seriously injured. The court ruled the officers committed particularly serious faults that directly caused the civilians injuries. The suspensions are now in effect while the department reviews internal policies on high-speed chases. The woman, who was struck after the police vehicle collided with a parked car on a downtown street, required extensive medical treatment and remains recovering. Police officials said the disciplinary measures reflect the seriousness of the incident and will be monitored throughout the suspension period. The SBVM spokesperson emphasized that accountability is essential to maintaining public trust, and that further reviews may result in additional actions.
Later we'll check on the second tornado confirmed in Saint-Donat, Quebec, plus our top stories. Then back to you, we will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got a lot to cover, and now Rachel is ready to bring you today's local stories. Stay tuned.
A second tornado has been confirmed in Saint-Donat, Quebec, officials said on Thursday, July 21. Meteorological experts identified the vortex after radar data and on-ground surveys matched the characteristics of a tornado. The storm moved through the municipality of Saint-Donat in the Lanaudière region, causing damage to trees and structures before dissipating. This event follows an earlier tornado that was observed in Harrington, Quebec, earlier this week. Emergency services responded to both incidents, securing the affected areas and assessing damage. Provincial authorities are coordinating with local officials to document the impact and to support recovery efforts. No injuries have been reported in Saint-Donat at this time. The Quebec Meteorological Service and the National Weather Centre conducted a field inspection that led to the confirmation. Power outages were reported in several neighborhoods of Saint-Donat following the tornado. A weather advisory remains in effect for Lanaudière region for remainder of day.
Quebec's Forest Fire Agency, SOPFEU, and the provincial government dispatched 3 water bomber aircraft to British Columbia on July 24 to aid the province's battle against active forest fires. The aircraft, equipped for aerial retardant drops, were flown from Quebec to key fire zones in British Columbia, joining local firefighting crews already on the ground. Officials said the deployment was a direct response to the scale of the blazes threatening communities and natural resources across the province. The 3 Quebec-based planes will operate under the coordination of British Columbia's fire management authorities until the situation stabilizes. This inter-provincial assistance reflects ongoing cooperation among Canadian jurisdictions when wildfire conditions intensify. The aircraft are expected to remain in British Columbia for the duration of the current fire season, providing additional aerial capacity to suppress the flames.
Earlier today, the Quebec government announced it is halting all artificial intelligence and automation pilots in the provincial public service. The decision ends experiments that included a chatbot on the Quebec CA portal and several back-office tools aimed at speeding up routine tasks. Officials said the trials repeatedly ran into technical and operational obstacles, prompting a reassessment of the value they bring to citizens. The province had launched a series of test projects over the past few years, hoping to modernize service delivery, but the challenges proved enough to scrap the initiative entirely. The cancellation will affect staff who were training on the new systems and may delay any near-term digital upgrades the government had planned. No further rollout is expected until a new strategy is defined. Citizens who had been promised quicker online answers will continue to rely on traditional contact methods for the foreseeable future.
Today, a private funeral service was held for celebrated Quebec actor Marc Messier, with the provincial flag lowered to half-mast in his honor. The ceremony took place in Montreal, attended only by close family, including his daughter, who confirmed that her father had always valued privacy above public attention. Government officials complied with the request, ordering the flag change across the province as a mark of respect. Messier, known for his iconic roles on stage and screen, had become a cultural touchstone in Quebec, and his passing prompted an official mourning gesture despite the intimate nature of the funeral. The half-mast display will remain until the end of the week, providing a solemn reminder to those who admired his work. No further public events are planned, honoring the family's wish for a quiet remembrance.
Police responded to a stabbing in the Ville-Marie district earlier today, finding a 45-year-old man with serious but not life-threatening injuries. Officers from the SBVM said the victim was found on a downtown sidewalk and received immediate medical attention. He was transported to a nearby hospital where doctors have reported his condition is stable. Investigators have not released details about a suspect or motive, and the area was briefly cordoned off while they collected evidence. The incident follows a series of recent downtown assaults, prompting increased patrols in the core business area. Residents walking near St. Laurent and St. Catherine were advised to avoid the immediate vicinity while officers continue their inquiry. Detectives are reviewing surveillance footage from nearby businesses and have asked anyone who saw the attack to come forward. No further injuries were reported.
Let's get a look at tonight's forecast with our meteorologist, keeping you ahead of the weather.
A waning high-pressure ridge yields to a westerly jet, setting the stage for tomorrow's unsettled swing. On this date, the city scorched to 31 degrees Celsius back in 2020, a record set during an early summer heat wave that pushed the regional ridge northward. The opposite extreme fell to 9.1 degrees Celsius in 2013, when an Arctic blast slipped through a deep trough, dumping temperatures well below the summer norm. Today's climatological average hovers around 26 for the high and 16 for the low. So the current 31 ties the record, while the nighttime low of 17 sits comfortably above the historic cold. Zooming into the live radar, the screen is a clean blue canvas across southern Quebec and the St. Lawrence Basin. No echo bands trace across the map, confirming that precipitation has been absent all day. The westerly jet aloft is steering any mid-level moisture well north of the province, while the surface high remains steady, keeping the air dry and stable. Expect the calm to hold through the night. At 11 p.m., the city sits under a thin veil of clouds, temperature 24, humidity 44%, and a gentle southeast breeze of 7 kilometers per hour. The surface pressure is near average but easing lower, signaling a weakening ridge that will allow the mid-level westerly jet, traveling 48 kilometers per hour, to inject modest warmth aloft. With the sun still high, daytime heating will push temperatures to a high of 31, while the nighttime low drops to 17 as the lingering moisture drains away. UV index reads 7, and the strongest gusts will only reach 14 kilometers per hour from the southeast. No weather alerts are active. That atmospheric backdrop sets the stage for the coming 5-day pattern. Looking ahead, the next 24 hours remain overcast with a high of 29 and a low of 18, the sun refusing to break through. Monday holds the same high of 29 but a slightly higher low of 19, and a 45% chance of rain as a weak frontal wave slides eastward. Tuesday repeats the 29 high, low climbs to 20, and the rain probability climbs to 50%, hinting at a lingering moist airstream. Wednesday cools noticeably to a high of 24, low 18, with light rain expected and a 60% chance, marking the wettest day of the stretch. Thursday stays at 24 high and 18 low under overcast skies, with a 40% rain risk as the system drifts north. The pattern shows a gradual tapering of warmth and a persistent mid-week rain corridor. And that's your weather. Remember, the wrap is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, traffic updates, what's on today across the city, and a look at the Canadian season start. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
And now here's Jason with sports.
Soccer heartbreak at home, and hockey's opening night gets a date. Tough result for the Montreal Roses in Northern Super League play. AFC Toronto's Lauren Rowe and Kaylee Hunter both found the net in the second half, and goalkeeper Sabrina D'Angelo held the Roses scoreless throughout. The 2-0 final pushed AFC Toronto into sole possession of third place in the standings. Mark your calendar, the Montreal Canadiens open the 2026-27 NHL season on September 29th on the road against the Toronto Maple Leafs. It is part of an all-Canadian opening night that also features the Edmonton Oilers hosting the Vancouver Canucks. A long chapter in Montreal Canadiens history has closed. The Habs dealt veteran forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations. CBC Sports reported the transaction, which sends one of the franchise's most recognizable names out of Montreal.
On a crisp Saturday morning in the Plateau, families gathered outside a corner bakery as the ARTM unveiled its latest study on the Orange Metro line. Transport planners, local councillors, and longtime riders stood shoulder to shoulder, watching a large map that traced the proposed extension from Mont Royal to the East Side neighborhoods. One vivid scene stood out, a mother with a stroller pointing to a busy boulevard, describing how the endless line of cars has turned her daily commute into a test of patience. She imagined instead a smooth ride on a new train, the scent of fresh coffee from the bakery mingling with the hum of arriving subway cars. The study estimates that completing the line could pull thousands of vehicles off that congested corridor, easing traffic and cutting emissions. As the crowd applauded, a group of high school students raised a banner that read, "Our city, our future," their faces lit with optimism. That moment reminded everyone that a transit vision can become a shared promise, turning a long-standing idea into a tangible hope for the city. Montreal's future feels a little brighter today.
On a crisp Saturday morning on St. Laurent Boulevard, near the bustling market of the Plateau, a small crowd gathered around a sleek teal electric sedan that had just rolled off a temporary pop-up showroom. The vehicle, bearing the emblem of a rising Chinese manufacturer, was being introduced to Quebecers by the province's transport officials and a local dealership owner, Marie-Claude Bouchard. The province recently reported that its electric vehicle fleet has topped 400,000 units, a milestone that has attracted new players eager to tap the market's enthusiasm for clean mobility. As the crowd listened, a teenage student from the nearby school stepped forward to test the car's quiet acceleration, his grin widening as the sedan glided past the historic street lamps without a hint of engine noise. That moment, seeing a young Quebecer connect with a foreign-made electric car, encapsulated the collaborative spirit behind the province's green transition. It reminded everyone that progress can arrive from unexpected corners, yet still feel like a neighborhood celebration. Quebec's streets are becoming a little greener, one new vehicle at a time.
Thank you, Montreal, for tuning in to the wrap. Tonight's highlight was the vibrant open-air board game festival, bringing the city together for a night of fun and competition. We appreciate your viewership and look forward to sharing more stories with you tomorrow. See you then.